Ladies and gents, welcome to the podcast, Richard, Grannon and Friends. Today we have with us Mr. Matthew Harding. Thanks very much for coming in, mate.
No, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Absolute pleasure.
We are both using the gym, Empowered Fit Whirl. It's not that I only take like people for this podcast from Empowered, like because I'm lazy. What gym do you use? That one? Oh, I'll interview. But we have a lot of people who do like a lot of diverse talents and things there. You are... Well, you're many things, but you were a powerlifter when you're in that gym.
Yeah.
And you compete in powerlifting.
Yeah.
And so when did you, what sort of age did you start looking at lifting weights?
For lifting weights, probably around, like, it was actually only recently, really, like 2019. I used to be a swimmer before that.
I'm really upset when people come in, they tell me they've been lifting weights for like a minute. Here I am after 15 years and they're smashing all my PBs. Yeah, just about 2 weeks ago, actually. Was bored, came in, smashed your fucking PB, left, took up yoga. So 2019 is when you started?
2019, yeah.
Yeah, and before that, swimming?
Before that was swimmer. Like, started swimming in, like, competitively in 2008. So
you're young. I don't know how old you are. How old
23.
Are you? 23. So you started swimming and you were competitively swimming when you were young?
Yeah, up until 2019, really.
Yeah. I, like all middle-aged men, eventually tried to get involved in triathlons. And the running and the biking was hard, painful, but training is. Swimming was like being fucking tortured.
Yeah, it's nothing like it, is it?
It's really hard.
Yeah, it's like whenever I missed like one session out swimming, it felt like it was like years.
Yeah,
like it's nothing like it at all.
Yeah, I mean, you psychologically, I suppose, you get conditioned to it, but like having chlorinated water shoot up my nose and in my ears, and then you get slapped repeatedly around the head.
Yeah,
if you're swimming in the sea, you get slapped all the time. But trying to learn how to crawl was like being repeatedly waterboarded and not enjoy that at all. And most things you could sort of gut your way through running, you got your way through biking, even lifting weights, you got your way through. You can't with swimming, can you?
You're just stuck if you can't.
So it's because it's very technical, isn't it?
Yeah, extremely. And like you just get so tired so fast, and like
so your endurance when you left, this is now 4 years ago, presumably you were extremely fit when you were...
I used to weigh 58 kilos.
Okay. And what are you now?
70.
Do you feel more comfortable now?
Yeah. But I do wish that I knew about nutrition like I do now then.
Okay, so you weren't big on nutrition?
I didn't know a lot because I wasn't part of their program, so they didn't teach me.
So you ate everything but just swam it off, basically, yeah.
Because like you just everything gets burned off.
Yeah.
And as soon as when I stopped swimming and started doing this, like it was like you get heavy and you're like, I might need to make an adjustment.
Maybe I can't just eat everything all the time.
Exactly. So
when you were as you were leading up to that, presumably you were trying for the qualifiers for the Paralympics.
Yeah.
And how many hours a day would you be training normally for that?
Like 4 hours a day.
4 hours of swimming every day?
It was like mornings training and then afternoon training.
And mainly swim technique and...
Yeah, we did we did land training as well, but there was like circuit training.
Okay.
So it was like press ups, like kettlebell stuff.
Yeah.
And then that was before the session. Then we did the 2 hour session, and then like we come back later in the day after like school or college, and we do the same again. So it was very taxing.
Yeah. And that's like 5 days a week. You're knocking that out.
Yeah, 5, 6.
5 or 6 days a week. And then 1 day a week just eating ice cream.
Making the most of the fast metabolism.
So presumably like you then, is there a board? Did you have to go somewhere and sort of perform in front of a board to qualify?
So like they had like the main competitions was like an international meets where there would be like the qualification for like whether it be Europeans, world champs or the Paralympics. And then you go there, they have like consideration times, and like to be like if you got as consideration time, you'd more likely be picked because like that was like the standard that you had to hit.
What's our consideration time?
So like the time that you'd hit to be selected to compete in the games.
Right.
And that can, each international team has like a different consideration time with how good they are. So like if a team isn't so good, they'd have a lower consideration time. But for like a team like expects medals, they'd up it.
Okay.
Because they're like that's their minimum requirement really.
Okay.
Like I did a 100-meter breaststroke, and like after the race, I was like to my coach then, like from the Will Metro Martin, he was like, I was like, I don't know what else we can do here. Like, because that prep, we given absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like being physically drained from that prep to like not even like, because it's all I ever did. Like I just put my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And it was, I just gave absolutely everything. And after the race, I was like, man, I don't know what we're gonna do here.
Yeah.
I was like, we've given absolutely everything. And then Martin was like, well, is there another path to completely go? And I was like, there might be. And I started looking, and then sort of like powerlifting like came across the horizon, and that's just a bench press, but it was a Paralympic event. And I was like, I discussed with him, and he was like, well, you're naturally strong anyway.
When was this? Is this still 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like, you're naturally strong, Matt. Like, because I used to, in land training, I used to do like something like in a row, like 250 push-ups.
Jesus Christ.
So like, it's sort of like the capability was there. It was a good foundation to go on to powerlifting. So I was like, okay. And then we sort of went down the path. I crossed over, and then the weight just started like creeping up very
the weight
fast.
That you could push.
Yeah. Weight that could push just started creeping up very fast, and I was like, you know what, we got a chance here. Yeah, we got a chance.
And then you competed, did you?
I haven't yet. My first one will be Paris.
Okay. Oh, this is your first one coming up, is in Paris?
Yeah,
okay.
Next year.
So from 2019 to now, you've been prepping for...
Prepping, yeah. And during that time, I've been to the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships.
Okay. And did you weren't competing there, or?
No, I was.
Oh, you were competing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have done some competitions.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But my first Paralympic Games would be.
Oh, I see. The first Paralympic Games.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you. So after 2019, where was the first? Where did you first compete?
The first time I competed was in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
Did you like Georgia?
I've been twice.
You've been twice? I've not been once. I want to go. I met a girl from Georgia, and I'm like, if this is what girls in Georgia look like, I need to go.
Honestly, like they've got like a minimum standard, isn't it? And it's like, I don't know how it goes. I honestly don't understand.
I think that part of the world, I don't know either, but like genetically, like that area, Dagestan, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Uzbekistan. Yes,
because like you get the normal guy is just so like broad and so masculine, but the women are just like so petite, aren't they? It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, beautiful. They just it might have been like a Soviet thing. They might have just banned.
Just
gulag for you, gulag for you, gulag for you. That's how we are beautiful now. Everybody beautiful. So you've been and competed there. So when you go, how many days are you competing for?
You compete one day, but like you're there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like, get yourself used to the surroundings, like set yourself down, and then just become comfortable. Yeah. Really, and people compete before you, people compete after you.
And do you go with a team, or are you?
Yeah. British weightlifting.
Okay.
We go British weightlifting, powerlifting team.
Nice. And how did you do that first year when you went to Georgia? Say the name of the city. I can't say
Tbilisi.
Tbilisi. Yeah. Okay. How did you do?
I did okay. I lifted 155 kilos.
Yeah, that's okay. Fucking hell. I ruined my fucking life over a little. I changed sports because I was bored of swimming. And then just banged out 155. It was a bit shit. Was it, Matt? Was it really shit? Great. I dream of 155. So you banged out 155.
Yeah.
And presumably that you scored pretty well competitively.
Yeah. So I was only in the B group for that.
Was it done by age or experience or?
No, it's just what weight you lift. Like as long as you're in the same weight class, it's whoever just lifts the most weight. And then the winner is the one.
So how did you do in the B group for that one?
B group, I think it came 6th in B group.
Mm-hmm. Out of how many people?
I was like, all in all, it was like 16.
6 out of 16 on your first competition.
Yeah.
It ain't bad.
No.
It's not bad. And what was do you remember what the max lift was that day?
I think it was like, might have been 200.
200, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was, say the name of the city? Tbilisi. Oh, I really should go. Tbilisi in Georgia. And then what was your next competition after that?
Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games?
That was incredible.
Was it?
Oh.
Where was that held?
Birmingham. My first introduction to Birmingham.
Yeah, just as beautiful as Tbilisi, except not really. Welcome to Birmingham. Lovely. I used to go to Aston University down there.
Nice.
Yeah. I lived in Birmingham for 3 years. Whew, a lot of fun. So Commonwealth Games, you enjoyed that one?
Oh, it was so nice to have like power sport, and I think it's the only competition that has power sport and able-bodied together.
Oh, right, okay.
So like,
so in Tbilisi, it wasn't that. It was para only.
Yeah, para only. And with most competitions, it's just para only. But with Commonwealth, it's both.
And was that just like a nicer atmosphere? It was good buzz.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. It was like, you know how you'd expect like London 2012 to be.
Yeah,
it was just that environment, that buzz.
Nice.
Like you walk out, like everyone's cheering. I mean, it's like you probably don't even know who I am. But just because I've got like England on, they loved it. So
that's great.
The vibe was amazing.
And how did you do on that one?
I came 6th on that one.
Good.
That one was it was points scored.
Okay. So
basically, this is the only competition for this one as well.
Yeah.
But for this scenario, it's like it's every body weight, but it goes against the formula.
Okay.
So like the lighter you are and the more weight you lift, the better your points get.
Yeah.
So like it didn't really help me because they have 2 classes and it's up to 72 kilos and then 72 kilos and above.
Right.
And I was up to 72 kilos and I weigh 70 kilos.
Okay.
So it was like it was quite difficult to like push the big guys on that one.
Yeah. So that but you still got a good result. You played 6th.
Yeah.
And this is now how many years of competing is this?
That would have been like 2.5.
2.5 years. By this point you've got the bug now.
Yeah.
You're really into it.
Yeah.
And then so that was the Tbilisi, the Commonwealth, and then what was your next competition?
The Europeans.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have pictures of this on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Is it okay if we have a look at your Instagram?
Absolutely.
Could you, Matt Harding, if you go to my followers, stalk my followers, you'll find them. You'll find beautiful girls from Georgia. Jokes, fam, jokes. You won't really.
Yeah, there we are.
Just the one. There he is. This that one with the blue light. Where are you there?
The top. That's Tbilisi.
It's a nice shot of you. That.
Yeah.
Moody.
I know. Oh, I get such in the zone. It's like I remember in the Commonwealth, the commentators were like, he's getting himself wearing up here. I just like,
you're intense.
Yeah, it's just such a contrast to, people say it's such a contrast to what I'm like outside.
Yeah.
Like I'm bubbly. I'm like, I love a laugh.
Yeah.
But like when like it gets down to like the show, like it's like I put my heart into everything about this.
Yeah.
And like I promised too many people that like I have to succeed to just like take it lightly, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just give absolutely everything.
You've been promising people you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awful lot of psychological pressure.
Yeah.
Are there any videos of you lifting? On your
The
profile?
mid on the top row. That one, I think the second one should be the
What weight is this? You are
179 kilos.
Ooh, fucking hell.
See what I mean? But what's hilarious about this is like, you see me like with my coach Tom there.
Yeah.
I absolutely punched him in the gut.
Oh, did you?
He went, but like you can't hear it. But I remember him going.
There's a bit of adrenaline flowing there.
And then after that, I run down like sort of like the ramp, and there's another coach at the end, called Ben, and like I just jump, like he's like, you can see his face not knowing what to do, and I like sort of like went to go put my arms around him, but I absolutely like whack him with my wrist, and
Sly digs, I love it.
Yeah, and like, after it,
would you catch him across the chin?
Across the jaw. Like and he almost like he was wobbling.
I'm so happy I'm going to spark you out, lad.
But like it was funny because someone was from the GB team was after me, Liam.
Yeah.
And like they went straight to Liam because he was warming up.
Yeah.
And Ben was going into that room like, oh, and Liam was like, what's the matter? You right, mate? And he was like, Mattie's just absolutely done me.
It's glassy eyed and wobbling. So that was 179
kilos.
179. How long ago was that?
That was I think that was September.
September just gone. You're very happy with that result.
Yeah.
Is that one of the most you've ever lifted? Is that why you were so?
Yeah, and that made me the strongest in Europe. That one.
You're now the strongest in Europe.
Yeah, for my weight class.
For your weight class.
Yeah.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
179. Had you lifted that in the gym?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. So I knew I could do it.
On your best days, you could do it.
Yeah.
I was discussing this with Joe and Emily the other day. Powerlifting is a different thing for me. But the few times I have tried it, I've noticed it's very difficult to predict what your body will lift on any given day. Mm-hmm. Like your body's just not going to be consistent. No. It's going to do what it feels like.
Exactly.
What is it? Do you think that makes a difference for when are you going to have a good lifting day? What makes a good lifting day for you? I
think being mentally and physically prepared, being the main one, but also just like doing the little things right. So like from when you wake up or when you arrive at where the event is, just doing like the little things like taking care of yourself. If you want time away, take time away, like going in the zone kind of thing. But also like have some chill time as well. Yeah. So like, cause it's like, it's a lot of pressure, like everyone watching you. Yeah. So like you need to sort of like have, like just like be as ready as you can. But still preserve your adrenaline, isn't it? You don't want to peak too high. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then in the gym when you're training, what is it that makes a good gym lifting day? Is it sleep? Is it food? I think it's definitely both of them, but also like, you can sort of like sense when like you're going to really peak on the gym in the gym, because you sort of like your training program, if all goes well, sort of like it just keeps building, and then if you next thing you know you're beating last week or last month's prep, then you know you're in a good place. Okay. And if it feels, because you can feel it sometimes when you're warming up. Yeah. Like you like that felt lighter than normal. That felt faster than normal. For people who've not tried this, like it's a pure strength style powerlifting, isn't it? That might sound a bit weird, but it literally feels that way. You pick up the same weight that you picked up 3 days ago, and it feels like a different fucking weight in your hands. Yeah. And sometimes you even have to check the bar, don't you? Be like, have I not put like, okay, this is like... Yeah, absolutely. Because it moves faster and just feels... lighter. But that can also go the opposite way. And it many days, more often than not, it's the opposite fucking way. Like there's somebody pushing down on the bar and you fuck off. So I feel like someone's just put some extra weight on. Put those elastic bands around it or something. Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I've had that more often than not. It's that, because with bodybuilding, like if you want to wave the weight up and down, well, nobody gives a shit. No. Like as long as you get your sets and your reps in, who cares? Yeah. And some days you have to, like your joints hurt or you've got a niggle there or something. Wave up, wave down.
but you have a program that specifically says a number.
Yeah.
And you meet the number. You don't bring the number down to meet you.
Don't. No.
So like today when you're training, because so I saw you in the gym today, what sort of weight and what rep range and how many sets are you doing as like a preparation?
So like this week's will be an interesting one. I've got a meeting with my coach tomorrow, but I hit a big PB last week, and sort of like it had a lot of taxing, like on my body, like throughout. I mean, I think the description was go balls out on Monday.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
Your coach is like, balls out, please.
Yeah, just so
you just pop them out the side, get on the bench. It's what the coach said.
Description, get kicked out of the gym. But like, just get absolutely everything. And like, I mean, it sounds shocking, but after doing that, I didn't have a very good week training, but that's as expected.
What did you get up to that day?
165 for 5.
For 5 reps?
Yeah.
And then was there any other sets or did you just leave it? You worked your way up to that?
Worked the way up to that. That was the top set, and then it was back down considerably.
Right. But you did do work after that?
Yeah, a little bit, but not as much as I normally do.
So 165 for 5 is an unusually large amount of weight.
Yeah.
For anyone to move, but you don't normally do that kind of. Did he just say to you, do the most you can for 5 reps kind of thing? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just like test what you can do.
Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the week was a shitty week.
Yeah, surprisingly.
You're probably like, just fucking leave me alone, please. Well, how long did it take to recover?
I just felt a little bit better today.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
So it's slowly
but
coming back.
It's like, I've peaked now. So it's like, you don't want to do too much now because like you've accomplished the main goal of the training block. So like I'm due to good deload and then start again, really.
You're deloading from now, are you?
Yeah, probably going to deload from now, and then next week or the week after we'll start building back up.
And when are you next competing?
Next competing, there's actually talk of me possibly going back to Georgia.
Can I hold your sports bag? I'll hold the towel for you.
Just like,
I'll be the chief cheerer on it. Just don't fucking punch me in the jaw afterwards.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Spinning back fist in my celebration.
I have to get creative.
Yeah. So the Georgia. What month is Georgia?
April.
April. Okay. So how long have you got? Oh, okay.
Got a fair bit.
You've got a fair bit. Yeah.
It's just a World Cup, that one.
Okay.
World Cup.
And will that be, you'll go back there again for 2 weeks at a time? Did you say you go there?
Yeah, 2 weeks. And then I've got the World Championships in August in Dubai.
Oh, in August in Dubai?
Yeah.
I'll be in Dubai. You have to come and say hello.
Absolutely.
We were talking about Dubai today,
We
weren't
were.
we? That'll be an experience for you. So, and how long are you in Dubai for?
It'll probably be like around 2 weeks. But
around 2 weeks.
I'll probably try and extend it a little bit.
So you can have a little
look around.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting place. And that is, the one in Dubai, is that a world thing as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be like the World Championships. So that's like the second biggest one you can go to.
So now you're the strongest in Europe. I guess you're in with a chance of being on the para team for the Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you already in communication with them?
Yeah. Okay. So at the moment, like world rankings, I'm like basically joint 6th in the world.
Wow.
And they take people from top 8.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I know I can lift more than what I did at Europeans right now.
Yeah.
So it's, I want a medal, to be honest. Like, and at the Paralympics, not just go.
When's the next Paralympics?
It's in Paris next year.
Next year. So eyes on that for next year. What sort of month next year is it?
Oh, I think it might be June.
Summertime thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that comes about. It sounds like it will do. So if you're 6th in the world, then the British team has to consider you for.
Yeah, and there's talks like it's like with me and my coach. What I love about this, like my coach's partnership is, he's like, I want the minimum go to Paris.
Right.
Whereas I was like, I haven't even got that. I didn't even get anything like that from swimming. Yeah. So it's like they're all in, like, and it's like they just want the best for me, and it speaks with how they communicate, how they act around me, and
Okay,
It's
you can tell.
Yeah, it's just such a difference.
So outside of lifting extremely heavy weights, what do you do? What's your main job that you do?
So at the moment, it's like I'm very fortunate to get for powerlifting to be my job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's only quite recently, but
so you're sponsored as an athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's very fortunate to like be in the position I am. So there's like I do a little bit of like public speaking here and there, but I should start doing more because
there's loads of money in it. Seriously, I know there's fucking loads. I do it. There's loads of money in it. Do you get paid well?
Yeah.
I used to work with an Olympic swimmer, the bald one.
Bald one.
Duncan. He hit his foot when he was a kid and it damaged a nerve in his foot and all the hair in his body dropped out.
Really?
Yeah, Duncan Goodhue. Jacob, could you check Duncan Goodhue for me?
I think it rings a bell, actually, I think.
I think he used to... I didn't get paid like he did. I worked with the company that worked with him. There he is, Duncan Goodhue. £21,000 to talk for an hour. An hour.
Yeah. 1 hour.
21,000. And he was funny. You know, he did like a little stand-up routine.
Yeah.
It's a really nice guy. Super motivational. He had this little speech that he would do. 21 grand, lad.
Wow.
For an hour of chatting.
It's not bad, is it?
It's all right, you know. It's all right. Frankie Boyle, if you want Frankie Boyle, £75,000 to chat for 2 hours at a corporate gig. Frankie Boyle, probably one of the best comedians we have alive in the UK. But still, 75 grand to chat is a lot of money.
Do very well.
Yeah, the ex-presidents, they get up as $250,000 to talk. Public speaking's great if you're good at it.
Yeah, I think I'll look into it.
you want that Lambo? You want to do that Andrew Tate lifestyle?
Yeah.
Where have you done public speaking before? Is it
just schools, really?
Schools.
Yeah, I haven't really broadened my range.
What do they? I used to speak in schools. What do they get you to come in and talk about?
Just about my life.
Yeah.
A few of them, like I went to it, so it was like my sort of like life leading up to, like sort of like school, and then like sort of past it.
Okay.
So just like life with dwarfism, like sort of like family experiences, things like that.
Yeah, and this is as a motivational sort of angle for the kids overcoming difficulty and
yeah.
And what was that like for you growing up with dwarfism?
Challenging.
Yeah.
I think it was because I come from like an average height household.
Okay.
So like I laugh about it, but like there was my brother's like 6'3".
Is he? Like, yeah. Don't like your brother. I've already got nothing.
But it's like,
how old is your brother?
He's
go away. You'll be in trouble. Roughly
20. I think he's 27, 28 this year.
Okay. 27, 28 this year.
Yeah.
You heard it here. If we got it wrong, sorry about that.
Sorry, Will.
So he's 6'3".
Yeah,
and
6'3".
is your mother and father, are they taller than average?
My mum's, she says 5'5". She's definitely shorter than 5'5".
She really? Mum. Come on, mum.
I'd say 5'3".
Right.
I say, but my dad was, I think he was 5'7".
Okay.
Yeah.
So your brother's a lot taller.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was sort of like, growing up, I was like, what? There's some differences here.
Yeah. I'm noticing something.
Yeah.
So what age were you when you became cognizant that there was a medical condition?
I think it's interesting actually because when I was younger, I've had a lot of surgeries, and so but it still didn't.
What did you have surgeries for?
So like
I'm super ignorant on this subject.
No. So like with my legs, they used to be when I was born. They used to be really sort of like bent.
Okay.
So like I had 8 plates in them, and to sort of like when I grow, it sort of like lengthen them out.
Okay.
And then I've had both ankles broken and realigned. I've had on my back.
Is this painful recovery from the surgery?
Yeah.
And how old were you when they would have done this?
So with my legs, I think it was up until I was 12.
And is this don't know how to ask that question sensitively. It's not for aesthetic reasons. It's for your quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely for quality of life.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Because it was some severe pain, like from like just the pressure of because you imagine if your legs are like that, it's going to put some serious pressure.
Yeah. And so even though the surgery was painful, recovery is painful, this is better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there was surgery up until the age, pretty extensive surgery up until the age of 12.
Up until age 12, and then I had like for my legs, and then afterwards I had my back done. So I decompression of the spine. So I had nerve endings that was like being squeezed.
Ooh.
So I was getting like numbness of legs.
Oh shit.
But like I didn't really like know how serious that was.
Okay.
So like if the nerve ending just bursts,
yeah,
you could be paralyzed from wherever you, like there's
does this happen spontaneously to people with dwarfism?
I think it's quite common. I think definitely with the legs it's common.
Oh shit. Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah, but
and that's just the nature of the fact that the positioning of the spine, like the legs, is such that it's just going to put pressure.
Yeah, so like I'm average. I've got an average size torso, but like it's just the limbs and that was slightly smaller. So you can imagine it's sort of like the body like sort of got different parts to like a different physique. Yeah.
So how old were you when the back surgery was done?
I think I was 14.
14. So time off school and it's quite heavy surgery, that, right?
Yeah, I found it quite hard as well. So I think it really impacted like how well I could communicate with people because I just wasn't with people like during that time.
How long were you off for?
I think it was around I think with my back it was 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, I was having this conversation last night. My cousin, she's 15. She's a wee shite. I like her very much. It's like for girls, they're hypersocial at that age, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I used to work with kids in that age range. And so a lot of like what girls her age would do and say that sounds like quite aggressive and quite nasty. A lot of it is that they're basically practicing their communication.
Yeah.
But us, as lads at that age, we're not naturally predisposed to like flexing the communication muscles.
No.
So if you were withdrawn for like 6 months, it's quite a big deal for a 14-year-old lad. That
and as well as like when I went back to school, I think they didn't really know how to include me or like as much because they used to just put me in a room and like do work.
Okay.
But then I'll leave early. I wouldn't see anyone.
Okay.
So I'd leave like.
That was the school's choice to do that.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay.
And I just wouldn't like interact as much, and I became very shy and didn't know just how to communicate really.
So you had mates up until the age like 13, 14. The back surgery was done. Then when you went back into school, they just weren't really integrating you into the groups.
No.
So what mates did you have then? 14, 15, 16, or did you just struggle to have a friend group?
It was sort of like I struggled, but like it was always you think they're your mates kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like because you just talk to them. Like that's how I thought. Like you speak to someone, they're your mate.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really. It's not like now when I go into the gym and like I know I've got like true mates around me.
It gets worse as you age, man. It's a pain in the ass. Because when you're young, you talk to each other, you look at each other, you're like, yeah, we're friends, obviously, because we're playing, so we're mates.
Yeah.
And then once you get to your age, like 23 and beyond, it's like, what are the specific boundaries of our fucking intimacy and our relationship? What kind of friends are we? So yeah, you're saying it's easier now.
Yeah.
That you've got mates in the gym.
Yeah. But like even like starting out like at the gym, I was very like nervous. But it was the power of Empowered, and they just.
Have you always trained at Empowered?
Yeah, so I actually did a work experience at Empowered.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I was in college.
Oh wow!
And then
what? How long ago was that?
Oh, I think that was like 2018, 17. Because I did that, and then when I was finding places where I could train, I was like, well, I did this work experience at Empowered, so I was like, just go there.
Oh, cool. Work experience as in you were working as a trainer there, or
Just,
you're working in the gym?
yeah, working in the gym, just doing. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen you around that long. I don't know where I started seeing you. Like Howard's a bit like that. You just know people.
You just know people from.
You're just there.
Yeah.
When I go in, you're there. Like there you are again. Where is he? On the bench. That's where I expected him to be. Lifting massive weights. That's good. So it's. Have you trained? Obviously, you must have trained in other gyms, not empowered as well.
Well, now it's like I train empowered and power based, which is where GB train.
Okay.
But up until that point, it was. I think I trained in the concourse once.
West Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once with a mate for swimming. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, I think it was always empowered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So your weightlifting training is through...
It's through empowered.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll have to cut that and give it to Chris and go, this is empowered. This is the power of empowered fitness gym. It's a nexus of positive spiritual meaning and good karma. Yeah, so when you were talking in the schools, I suppose the kids would relate to the feeling of being isolated and not being able to make friends and feeling awkward in social situations.
I think so, but also like recently, I mean, it sort of like gives them more of a reason to relate. It's like when sort of like you grow up and like sort of like parent figures aren't there, like sort of like grandparents aren't there. It's like sort of like you can relate to me on that, and which like sort of like I always want to like help and like sort of like give ways in which like coping mechanisms and things like that.
What, like for kids who are growing up and they feel the same way you did, like a little bit out of place and like they were struggling to make friends with people, what advice do you usually give them?
Probably just like knowing that it's gonna get better.
Okay.
Like because there's times where I didn't want to be here, and especially even in COVID, like I had severe like mental problems.
So yeah, actually, COVID hit right as you'd gotten into, you'd found your new thing.
Yeah, as soon as I like got into it, I was like, it's looking good, this, and then COVID just went, nope,
fuck you,
and then
you,
and then I was like, just went straight down.
And you heard the stories of people who actually took their own lives during COVID, like people who love gyms, bodybuilders,
like and it was I was like, but I think the one thing that hurt most is like I just wanted to chat to like sort of help my mind, and like because when COVID couldn't go out, I reached out to people on Instagram, and I reached out to like counsellors and things like that, and they're always the first line they put was, great, I'd love to chat with you, this is my fee. And it was always like, you just want me for my money. So that made me even worse. And it was honestly a part where I just messaged completely out of the blue Muhammad Ali's daughter, and she messaged me back.
Oh wow!
And like she just said like, you know what I mean, like she sorted me out, and it was really enlightening.
That's kind of her.
Yeah, it was very like kind of her, and like sometimes like I was messaging her how well I'm doing, and like she's always like I'm really proud of you, and it was just it was from someone who you wouldn't expect. Yeah, like really helped me and sort of like saved me in a way.
That was good. The counsellors were fucking useless.
Yeah,
but Muhammad Ali's daughter was helpful.
Yeah.
So then we got the chance to go back to, so on and off we got the chance to go back to the gym.
Yeah.
So as soon as it was open, you'd be back in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so important that gym be closed that they sent the armed police, because the biggest threat on the streets of the United Kingdom at that moment was that you might lift up a fucking weight. You might not be sat at home getting, like everybody else, fatter and more depressed, but you might actually be in the gym chatting to your mates and lifting weights. And I think we should have all been shot. And I'm sorry that we weren't.
Firing squad.
Send the armed police. They're trying to do bicep curls. Stop it. We might have to clip that. I don't know. So yeah, it's nice to know that we live in a modern Western liberal democracy.
Absolutely.
This is all a true story, by the way. You can look it up. Empowered, fit, armed police. There's pictures of them going down there.
It's crazy.
And you know, the police were just following orders. You know, and they were told to do that, and they obviously looked very bashful about it. But that happened inside of the United Kingdom for a disease with a less than 1% mortality rate. So, moving on. So, as far as the mental health thing goes. When you talk to kids who have been bullied and stuff, because you must have experienced some bullying as well.
Yeah.
A lot, or was it not too bad?
I think I was more naive that I didn't see it.
Right.
I think like people, when I hear people laughing, I always assume that it wasn't that me.
Okay. It's probably a good assumption.
Yeah, probably it's a good assumption. But like it's more like, and it still happens.
Yeah.
Like you walk down like a street sometime, and if I'm by myself, like people will like sort of like you can sort of like sense when something's happening. And but that's just like constant. The sad thing is you just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't affect you as much. But I always remember when I was a kid and someone used to stare at me, I used to give them an absolute death stare back. It was like a staring competition. But it's just like, it was always like something that I lived with. So it was like when people sort of ask for advice, it'd be like, obviously tell people what's going on. But also know that it's not you that they're upset about, it's themselves.
Yeah, it's an internal issue.
Yeah, so like because if anyone's happy with themselves, you wouldn't go out your way to make someone else unhappy.
Those little weapons in the cafe before, they were taking the piss out of me, you know.
Really?
Yeah, because somebody came and shut the door, and it was cold, and I said thank you, and they're all going thank you like that, and I'm like, is being polite a fucking crime?
It's so dark, isn't
it? But I suppose once you're in that, like at the age that they are, and you've put yourself in that frame of like, I'm going to take the piss out of everything. Yeah. You're kind of trapped then. Yeah. You're trapped in that role. Yeah. And I know that. I mean, like, because I've lived it. I've been a horrible little cunt as well. So I know what horrible little cunts are like from the inside. So in the gym that we're in, you've not presumably not had any bullying or stupid comments?
Not nearly as much. People, I think...
Did you say not nearly as much? I was hoping you were going to say no, zero. Like,
well, you're always going to get, like, people, like, when people see me and get to know me, they're absolutely fine. But some people, from, like, first glance, they're like... Because, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've got dwarfism, it's different, but it's not in a bad way. Okay. It's just, like, the more, like, shocked, you know what I mean?
Okay, and they can't keep it off their face.
Yeah, but it's quite amusing sometimes because, like, when, like it's just like as a pointer, if you ever see someone with dwarfism, don't look behind you. when you get looked at, because it's so obvious,
right?
Like it's like when someone's looking at me, like
they're trying. I'm looking at you.
I'm not looking at you.
I'm looking at something else over here. I suppose it's important to have the compassion to understand that. Like, also people, they have their own perceptions, their own perceptual filters.
Absolutely.
But generally speaking, in that gym, it's pretty sound.
Oh no, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good. Like what Chris and Theo have done is, so I don't even know how they've done it.
It's psychic. They've used spiritual energy.
Yeah.
It's a spell. It's a big.
Just like every time you walk in, you're just like. Yeah.
It's a good vibe. And it's generally speaking very, very nice people. Nasty people don't tend to last in there. They tend to disappear. So obviously the school, and then coming out of school, socializing. Then when did it get easier for you to socialize? What age did you find yourself getting your mojo back and feeling more confident?
I think when, like, people knew me as a successful athlete.
This is a big part of your identity.
Yeah.
That you're a successful athlete.
Yeah.
Then you felt confident and...
Yeah, because I always, a goal of mine when I was younger, and I watched the 2008 Olympics, and I was like, firstly to my mum and dad, I was like, I'm going to get there. One day I'm going to get there. But also the bigger goal would be to be recognised as not someone with dwarfism, but as someone who lifts or succeeds at something.
So you would have been, if you're 23 now, my maths isn't very good. You were in 2013, you were 13, but it's 5 years. So you're 8 when you said that. I'm going to get there, I'm going to get there. Okay.
Yeah. And I made the promise.
So you wanted to be recognised not as an athlete with dwarfism, but as an athlete. As an athlete, yeah. And do you feel like you're well on the way to
absolutely. And I think I get a lot of people now that are just like, wow, your story's so inspiring, which is so nice to hear. Because like I don't like to complain as much, but it's like when you sort of like go through the hard times and like get the good times, like it just makes it that much more worth it, I think.
The hard times more recently, was that just in COVID or was there other?
So it's always so bizarre because last year I lost my dad and nana 6 months apart.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear
that. But it was also the greatest year for me sporting wise.
Okay.
So with my dad, like we sort of like knew when like things weren't great, and like it was always it was with my dad. It was like I always tried so hard for swimming or sport in general to be the best person in me because I always felt like a nuisance to him.
Okay.
So I always felt like
was that from him or is this from you, a projection?
I'm figuring it out, but because like he never said he loved me. He was more like a materialistic thing. Mm-hmm. So I knew if I won a medal, he'd be absolutely over the moon with it.
Okay.
So I was putting absolutely everything into it. And he passed away just before Commonwealth. And we were we didn't give the spare ticket to anyone, so there was just like an empty seat, which was very powerful, I think, for me. And it was just made the experience that much sweeter, I think, really. But still on the quest to get the medal, really.
So when you say he never told you he loved you, but materially he was there, you mean he gave you everything you needed materially?
Yeah, so he was like sort of like money, like you'd give it, like if you needed, like for my first car, like he'd give it.
It just wasn't a very affectionate man.
No, and he was very like he did the slightest thing wrong, like leave a fork out, and he used to go. His head used to go, and it was just like he was like very like on tiptoes around the house, like just sort of like not
just an angry man.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, he was just sort of like it was difficult. It was difficult.
Sounds like hard work. The when he died, that you knew that he was sick.
Yeah, he had cancer in the lungs.
Okay, so it wasn't a shock.
No,
as such.
No,
okay,
no, absolutely not. But then, like 6 months later, my nana was complete shock.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to Europeans, and like sort of like after I competed, like I was on a complete buzz high, and then like when my mum was like, yeah, I'm so happy for you, but you know when you can just sense something in their voice isn't as right, and I was like, is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, but Nana's in hospital at the moment, but it's just she's okay, but just so you know. And I was like, okay. But then as I came back, like we went straight to the hospital and I had my gold medal with me, and like sort of like she was on a ventilator, she's like tubes, and I was like, this is not good.
Yeah. What was it?
Just like a blood clot.
A blood clot. So she was very, very sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, very.
But
frail.
just like overnight, because like they were eating. She was eating with my mum and my brother the night before, and then it, like just overnight she just didn't feel quite well, and then they rushed her into hospital.
And how long after you arrived at the hospital did she
it was quite a while. It was like 4 or 5 days, I think.
4 or 5 days, yeah.
But she was in like a sedated coma.
Yeah.
But it was, what was so powerful is like she wasn't aware. But what I hope is true, she wasn't aware. But when sort of like I showed her the medal, like all of a sudden I said, I did it, Nana. Like I did it for you. I got it. And like she sort of like flickered her eyes, and then she sort of like tried to reach out, and I was like, I hope she knows.
Yeah.
I hope she knows. Because I think the difficult thing is like it was going so well. Like for the one time, like my career was going well. Then I couldn't celebrate with the people that didn't have. I've never seen it go well.
Yeah.
Like as such, I mean, I know I got records and things, but and I know Nana would have said I should have been proud of me regardless. But it's just like, I think the moment's only special if you celebrate with the people that you go through the hard times with.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's difficult. Like,
this is your mother's mother.
Yeah.
And you were close to her.
Yeah, very close.
How long ago is it that she passed?
She passed in September.
Have you seen a counsellor?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're not all dicks, you know.
No.
I have like names and numbers of 2. I've got 2. After fucking years of therapy, I have 2 that I recommend to people. Has that helped, being in counselling?
Yeah, I think so too. It also, I started with Christine after I got out of an abusive relationship.
Jesus Christ. How long have we got, Jacob? You were in an abusive relationship as well?
Yeah, so during COVID times when I was low, I was like...
Step into my office. Just let me... Listen, sometimes psychopathy can be useful. we all need a good narcissistic psychopath on our side every once in a while. Tell me, what happened?
So like when I was in like COVID, obviously I was really low, like mentally, and like I was like sort of, I obviously was like desperate to have like good moments. So I appeared on this video during lockdown that went quite viral.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of followers from that.
Tell me about the video.
So it's a video of an empowered, I think, and it's just me like lifting weights, like training.
Like a montage.
Yeah, so like an inspirational kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it went on Snapchat, you know, the promo stories.
Oh, cool.
Thing, and then it went on like an Instagram account with a few million followers. So I went on that, got a few followers, and then I like sort of like I think posted a story, and then she popped to me or I popped to her, and then I sort of like, because I was in the dark times, I sort of like didn't have my eyes wary that I didn't see the red flags.
Dude, you're 23. You're allowed to say she was fit. Fucking hell. I wasn't on guard. You're not fucking 45. There was a fit bird and she was chatting to me and I said hello. That's all right. I forgive you.
He was exactly that.
She was just fit. That happens.
Yeah. So like, I just like, I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
And then like he went on, and then I sort of like started visiting her and things like that. But then what was scary for my family is like my mum especially, she felt like she was trying to pull me away from them.
Okay.
So like, I mean, you probably, she always wanted my location on. Yeah, you can see where this is going. Location on. But there was a time where I was traveling actually to her and I went through a tunnel. After that tunnel, the tunnel was like 3 to 4 minutes. After I got outside the tunnel, I had like 4 missed calls from her.
Yeah.
Called her back.
Yeah.
Where are you? Why is your location off? What? I mean, bombarded me with all this.
Did you say because I'm shagging a bird in the tunnel? And her mate, and her mum. And her dad's filming it.
Just in the tunnel.
Just in the tunnel. Because why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you? But like, and then after that, it was sort of like things of So getting away from my family.
She was trying to pull you away from your family, isolate you.
Yeah, so like, but she also used the guilt trip quite a lot. So
Does she have a sad story?
yeah, all of her exes were abusive.
Yeah. Doesn't get on with her dad.
No.
Is her dad still around?
Yeah.
Okay, but he's bad.
Yeah. He tried to make a move on her apparently.
Okay.
And then abusive exes. And then so like,
welcome to the wonderful world of borderline personality disorder. Welcome to all my ex-girlfriends.
But to the point of where like she was like, when I wasn't like as talkative because I wanted to actually spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Like she used to send me like a message saying, I'm going to end it all now. Because I said I didn't want to call one night.
Because you wanted to spend time with your family.
Yeah, and then she sent me that. So
suicide threats. Yeah.
So then I felt guilty.
Spewed your family off.
Yeah, and then I was talked to her like more than my family, and then I only realised something was happening because my family was telling me like this isn't right, and I was like,
they could tell there was something about
yeah,
her there. And they met her a few times.
Yeah,
and that, yeah.
And there's some. I always remember my uncle's face one time when because of rich family.
She's from a rich family.
Yeah. And my uncle was like, I trying to find out the exact thing. He said, I think he wants to go to France. And then, like, was going for a holiday or something like that. And then she went, well, I actually think it's quite overrated. I've been like 8 times.
Yeah.
And then my uncle's like,
have you, love, yeah? That's boss that.
But it was just like...
so she's a little bit arrogant.
Yeah.
What same sort of age as you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. A little bit younger, but similar.
Yeah.
And then, but I only realised it was like something was going on that it shouldn't have when she hit me.
She started hitting you?
Well, yeah, she hit me once.
Okay.
She hit me once, which was when I picked her up from work one time.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, I think we were going to go on like a double date with her mate and her mate's boyfriend. Yeah. So I said, oh, I think he followed me on Instagram. Yeah. Straight away, she snatched my phone off me.
Her female friend followed you on Instagram?
Yeah. So she's, my girlfriend at the time, snatched the phone off me. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, no, this isn't right. And I was like, what do you mean it's not right? And I was like, can I have my phone back, please? And then she was like, no. So I was like, she was trying to get in with my phone. So I went to reach it and then she smacked.
In the head?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, full on slap. And then I sort of like, and then I should have just like kicked out the car there and then. But I didn't do anything about it from that point. But then sort of like little thing, it all starts to, it's like a puzzle, isn't it? Yeah. It all starts to like come together.
Yeah. And plus you liked her and you don't want it to be true that she's a wrong'un.
And then I realized like this isn't right. Yeah. And then I sort of like pulled myself away from it.
How long ago did that end?
A year.
A year now, yeah. And was that in terms of falling in love and relationships, was that one of the first relationships?
Yeah.
And were you in love with her? It didn't go on long enough for that.
No, I don't think so.
My ex Jacob, who you know, I was driving back from the David Icke thing, and I gave her my location so that she would know what time. Yeah, so that she'd know what time I'd get back. And I stopped at Stoke-on-Trent service station for food because I was hungry. Yeah. She went fucking berserk. Who you shagging? I was like, I didn't deny it. I went, you're right. You're fucking right. I've got a girl on Tinder. I said, meet me now at the subway. Stoke-on-Trent service station. I'm going to fucking service you, my love. Get that 6-inch sub, baby. I was like, where do you think I've been? I've been fucking working all day. I've stopped for a sandwich, you nutcase. I know you didn't do it. I know you're with another woman. Why would I give you my location and then go...
Lovely Stoke-on-Trent services as well.
That's where I do my thing. Stoke-on-Trent service station, baby. In the Burger King after a fucking 6-hour shoot when I'm sweaty and minging.
Is that the one with the roundabout?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, see, he knows. This is everyone from the world who cheats on their birds. That's where we go. Stoke-on-Trent service station. Don't let your man go there. Because you know now, don't you? You know. Fucking, what an argument that was. What an argument that was.
I can imagine your face as well. It'd just be like...
fuming. Fucking hell, I was furious. Yeah, I was so angry I took a bowling in Bromborough. That showed it. Weird night. It was a weird place to have an argument as well. So obviously after that you realised, and you've spoken to a counsellor about that.
Yeah.
So you picked up somebody who's probably somewhere on the spectrum for borderline personality disorder. And serious attachment style issue there. Extremely anxious attachment style.
Yeah, and I was like, the first like sort of like month, because I was just so always like programmed to think I was in the wrong. It's like who
programmed you to think that you're in the wrong?
No, my ex.
Oh, your ex did, yeah.
So I was like at the first I was like, well, I'm in the wrong. I don't mean, because I always get yelled at for like leaning on the bed because on my back to stretch out my back.
Leaning on the bed.
Yeah, it made her uncomfortable.
What was it about you stretching your back that made her uncomfortable?
I honestly don't know.
Stories of other people's psychological abuse make me so it's not happening to me. Oh, you're supposed to have empathy. Yeah, sorry, I spoke professional. You don't laugh at your coaching client suffering. That's a bad thing. So you're saying, oh, back's a bit sore. You get on, you lean against it, stretch it out.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, don't
she was like,
do that.
Can you not? And I was like, because she lived in like sort of like a big house as well. So I needed, especially after a long car ride.
Stretch your back.
Yeah. And then it was like.
She would just say, don't do it.
It was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, stretch out my back.
Because of me fucking back. Why do you stretch anything? I was like, also, it's my fucking back. I'm not stretching your back. That would be fucking weird if you got on her and started giving her the chiropractor routine. So when you stretched your back, she'd be like, that's a no-go.
Yeah. And it was, it's just like little things where like, I always felt like I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And
that's the game.
Yeah. And like coming out of that, obviously, I mean, it's the first few months, isn't it? That's the most dangerous, because then you want to, like, your mind's like, yeah, I'll just go back and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then,
especially if the sex is good. Yes. Yes, you see, I know this game. I know all about it.
But that's what it's like. I was just like constant, like, well, I was in the wrong, wasn't I? And then the counsellor was like, no, actually, like this was her, and you'd be like, oh yeah, like it just like if that
she's conditioned you to think that you must be in the wrong at all times on all issues under any circumstances.
Yeah, and like just so you felt guilty and you're like just being trapped, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So she was guilt tripping you from the outset. Do you think you're still prone to being guilt tripped?
I like to think no.
Okay.
What I think as well now is like, so like I sort of like see sometimes when you're texting someone. Yeah. And then it's like a little thing that comes up every night.
Texting someone or texting a girl? You can say girl. It's a female. This is how
texting a girl.
It's not your mate. Well, you can tell me. Is it your male friends who guilt trip you, or is it no? It's female friends who might say something that's a little bit.
Yeah, and then you're like sort of like. I was like, you just be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like I don't want to do that. Go down that way, because it's just like little thing that sparks a memory.
So you can feel it, and you go,
yeah,
not playing this game.
Yeah, so that's why I think I'm much better than like sort of I was.
Yeah, and. Just to be clear to my audience, this is not a sexist commentary. Men have more physical power, so we can afford to be more direct in the world and just go and get what we want. Women have to learn as a survival mechanism to mobilize and instrumentalize others to fulfill an intention. And some women more than others, and some, I think it's slightly age as well. So like younger women, like young men, you know how like young men like fighting? Yeah. Like, I want muscles, I want to see who I can beat up, and, you know, who I can wrestle with. So a lot of that is like repressed homosexual desire as well, I think. All psychologists think that. But women will be like, my muscle to flex is more in the realm of manipulation. I don't know. Have you got anybody in your family who's at that 13, 14, 15-year-old goal age range? If
someone, I think my cousin's about to be 13.
Okay. Well, the next 3 years, Matthew, you can observe. She'll go from being like, yeah, I like playing and doing cool stuff, and this is fun, to just being horrendous and torturing probably her mum more than her dad.
Interesting.
13, 14, 15. But it's kind of like, it's horrible for the mum unless she knows what she's dealing with. It's just a game to flex the muscles,
Yeah.
And that's what that girl who's texting you is doing with you. What can I get you to do?
Yeah.
And if what did another therapist I used to work with, he would call it ostentatious displays of vulnerability, where you sit in front of somebody and be like, oh, if only somebody would close the window. Oh, if only somebody would make a cup of tea. And you're like, there's a room with 2 people and I'm the only other fucker in here. Like, if you want me to make you a cup of tea, ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, if only. So it's that I need something doing for me. Are you going to do it or not? So you're saying you can see it earlier now.
Yeah, definitely.
And you just don't.
I just like cut it off there and then really. You
don't talk to them at all? Or?
Well, sort of, sometimes I'll be like, I don't really appreciate that for X, Y, and Z reasons.
Okay.
And then other times I'll be like, I go cold.
You just go cold?
Yeah.
Okay. I do think, to a degree, you're always going to be somewhere on a sliding scale of having to handle that. I'm just saying, as like an older guy, I'm 23 years older than you. Fucking hell, man. How did this happen, Jacob? I wasn't paying attention. I became 45 accidentally. You are, I mean, and especially, if you like good looking girls, it just comes, it's just a thing. Like, so have your boundaries set, but also realize, when you look at a really young girl who's 13, 14, 15, that muscular flex is always going to be there. Some women really do just leave it. They just go, I can't be arsed doing that, and they grow out of it. Some women can be 70 and they'll still do it.
Wow.
Yeah. I've got clients who are still in their 70s, pushing 80. They still have this. Because in a developmental sense, they never learned anything beyond that.
Yeah.
They got stuck at that point.
So that was like the limit.
That's their limit. So that adult to adult communication of going, could you please do this for me because I'm too lazy to, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then having a sense of humor and humility. Some people never get there. They live and die and they never get there. So you recognize it now. Do you feel like do you trust yourself to get back into a relationship?
Yeah.
You say?
Yeah.
You feel okay about it?
Yeah, just recently though, I think.
Okay.
It's like, because it was like, after that I was like, because like she didn't like me doing sport as well.
That's not great.
No.
Because that's an environment where you shine.
Yeah.
She saw you shining.
She thought I was.
That's how she found you.
Yeah, she thought I was like cheating on people in the gym and things like that.
Okay.
So like she was
cheating on her with people at the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was always like,
which you were. I saw you doing it. Dirty
many
boy.
times.
Many with me. That's how I know. So you would go to the gym and train, and she would think he's chatting to other birds.
Yeah, because I was like, I wouldn't be on my phone for like 15 minutes, and then like
it's all it takes.
Yeah, and then it'd be like, and then you just like have like, then I'd message her back, and then she wouldn't reply because she's spotted
furious. Yeah. I mean, I've been jealous, and I understand, like, it is a serious issue if you have an anxious attachment style and paranoia kicks in. But it does make me laugh when I think, like, from the other person's point of view, realistically, what do you think is happening? Do you think I just walk up to a girl by the squat rack and be like, have you got 15 minutes? Because I would like to have sex with you before I need to text my girlfriend. And then she just goes, I was going to finish my set, but you know what? Just let me pop this down.
For the woman to be, you know what?
Shall we just do that? Yeah. The paranoia, the fucking. I mean, I've had this throughout my entire life. Even just going to the supermarket, and it literally could have been half an hour. Like, it's Aldi. Which you think I'm doing in Aldi?
It's nuts, isn't it? It's actually nuts.
So moving forward from here, what are your biggest goals from now moving forward? What would you really like to be able to achieve?
Definitely medal at the Paralympic Games.
You won that?
Yeah.
And that's Paris next year.
Paris.
Anything else you want to do, or is that the big focus in your life?
That's the biggest one, because I always, like, it's always like people when growing up, like people always being like, oh no, you can't do that. Like he was like that's like goals too like big for him. It's like I always like think of like scenarios where like in school I was in a drama lesson and I got year 7. I think it was the first lesson of the first week. We got in a circle and then the teacher was asked us what we wanted to be when we were older. I said I wanted to be Paralympic champion. Everyone laughed.
Oh, okay.
But you said people want to be footballers. Everyone was okay with that.
Yeah.
But it was when I said it, like even the teacher had a smirk on their face. And they probably forgot that.
Yeah.
But every single day, I remember things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember like the hard times. I remember why I'm doing it. And I'm always like, I gotta do it just to have that satisfying like thought of like I did it.
Yeah.
And just like, but to just do it for my family as well, because they've like my mum's been there for everything. It's like, I mean, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but she had cancer when I was 8 years old. And like, you sort of like, a lot of people say why I don't complain is through her, because she was in absolute agony. And like, she had her hair falling out. And then every single time, like I saw her, she was like, I love you, Matt. Like you're going to do this. And like, just, I didn't forget things like that. And like, I was like, I can't not do that. Like it's a lot of pressure that I put on myself, but it's just, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And I can do it.
Yeah, it is a lot of pressure, but if you're going to torture yourself to do something amazing, you are at the right age to do it. Yeah. the only thing that I would say from like having worked with professional athletes over the last few years is have a goal beyond that goal.
On that goal, yeah.
Yeah, because you probably will compete and you probably will do really well, which would be great. But I'd hate to see you come back and be fucking depressed.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, well, I've fucking done it now. What else is there? This is over now. I like from me to you, I just think like you'd be amazing at the public speaking thing.
Yeah.
And remember, 21 grand an hour. Just keep that in mind. Old Duncan Goodhue there. All right, Dunk. It's nice working with you, mate. Awesome. Where can people find you if they want to follow your progress?
On Instagram, Matt Harding _.
Yeah.
That's where I put most of my stuff.
Yeah.
And that's.
Yeah. That's if you can you put his thing on screen at the end as well as sound as.
Thank you,
mate. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And best of luck with it.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to do amazing things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and your attention. And we look forward to seeing you next time.